Welcome back to Temporal Directive, the Star Trek fan podcast, rewatching the entire franchise in chronological order. I'm Gary.
And I'm Tom.
And this week, we're watching Star Trek Enterprise's The Seventh. Star Trek, the ultimate franchise. These are the podcasts of the Wakefield brothers. Their 16-year mission to watch every production, to seek out life lessons and new inspirations, to boldly watch like most fans have watched before. Hey Tom, how's your week been?
Busy. Very, very busy.
What's been keeping you so busy?
I've had a full week of work this week.
Oh, you poor thing.
I know. It's shocking, isn't it?
Joining the full-timers yet?
Yeah, no. Still part-time, but they had a lack of staff again this week, so...
Not another COVID outbreak.
No, just people not wanting to work.
That's fair.
I'm assuming they were sick.
Let's go with that.
Yeah. So I said I'd cover a couple extra shifts, so that gave me a full week.
Nice.
So, yeah, that was all right. It's
Coffee's on you today, then?
Yeah, can be.
Okay,
Once
nice.
every now and then.
Nice for a change. Here I am doing all the work and getting the coffee.
Yeah. It's been good for me.
Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, dear.
Yeah, but nothing else other than that, really.
Yeah, I've had a pretty quiet week too.
Yeah, it gets like that sometimes.
Yeah. All right, let's get into this week's episode then. So this week we are watching Star Trek Enterprise's The Seventh, written by Rick Berman and Braden Braga, directed by David Livingston, with an air date originally of November the 6th, 2002. IMDb synopsis reads.
This will be good.
It's really long. T'Pol asks Captain Archer to join her on a mission to capture a Vulcan fugitive that escaped her years ago. That's it. That's the synopsis.
Surely they can do better on IMDb.
I think T'Pol and Archer are going on a Vulcan hunt.
Yes. Yes, I'm sure they are.
Cybok?
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Do we know the Vulcan? Because
don't know.
there's only one Vulcan fugitive I can think of.
So in Strange New Worlds, in season 1, they teased Cybok.
I know.
And there was no follow-up in season 2, and I was very disappointed.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping in season 3 we at least
Get
something.
Yeah, I know. It's annoying.
Although season 4 is filming now, maybe we have to wait till then.
They better give us something at some point, though, because it's freaking frustrating when they do that stuff.
It would be good to have some sort of history there. Like, that's a missing chapter in Spock's life that they've never really talked about.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when we have this new made-up sister that we've never heard of, and then no Cybok.
Michael.
That's right. Made-up sister that we never heard of.
We never heard of Cybok until fucking 30 years into the franchise either.
What's your point?
My point is, every 30 years, we discover another one of Spock's relatives. So you just wait 20 years, there'll be another one.
There'll be another sibling.
That's just how it works, Tom. They have to add characters to create a tapestry. All right, let's go watch it. And we're back from watching The Seventh. Well, Tom, what did you think?
Wasn't too bad. It felt pretty Star Trek sort of style, like, struggling with their past and having to deal with some issues. And that's sort of very Star Trek, coming to terms with something in their history. So I really liked it, really.
Yeah, I thought it was a good one.
Yeah, it gives us a bit more history on T'Pol as well, which was nice.
Yep. Yeah, I thought it was a good one.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, well, that was easy. Let's get into the episode.
Yeah.
We open on the Enterprise flying through space. What a shock.
What?
Then we cut to Paul's quarters, and she's reading a book.
Yeah. You weren't going to be able to read that over her shoulder.
Nope, I can't read Vulcan. I don't know about you. I mean, I wonder if Google Translate would be able to do that. Paul's in bed reading her Vulcan book, and her computer makes a buzzy noise, and she gets a call from Vulcan High Command, some very serious-looking Vulcan woman, who says they've located Minos, and that Minos is less than 3 days from Enterprise's current position.
Yep.
And so Paul asks if she's certain that it's him, and she says yes, and then we go to the credits.
Very informative moment.
Yeah.
He's 3 days away. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. We cut to the ready room. Archer's in there reading his pad, eating some toast, and Paul rings the doorbell and comes in. She says Admiral Archer is going to call this afternoon. He says, "Oh, will he? And how would you know that?"
You got precognition?
She says that she was contacted by the Vulcan High Command last night, that they've requested her services as a matter of security, and that the Admiral will inform you that Enterprise will be asked to alter course to the Panaya system, where I will need a shuttle pod and a pilot for 3 to 5 days.
Yeah.
He wants to know what the matter of security is, and she just keeps saying, Admiral Forrest will be contacting you this afternoon.
Yeah. I mean,
she's not going to tell him.
Nah. It's a bit like trying to pull teeth, isn't it? Like they say.
They try.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, he asks a couple of things and she just doesn't really give him much information. And then he says, "Thanks for being so enlightening." Dismissed.
Well, it's like you come to the room to tell me this and you don't actually tell me anything. Thanks a lot.
Well, that's how this kind of thing happens sometimes.
Yeah, fine.
We get a shot of Enterprise and a captain's log saying that I was in fact contacted by Admiral Forrest, who has ordered us to accommodate the Vulcan's request.
Funnily enough.
What a shock. Then we cut to the situation area, room, whatever, at the back of the bridge there.
Yeah.
Archer, T'Pol, Travis, Trip, and Hoshi are all standing around that little table. And they're talking about the mission and where they're going. Archer says he doesn't know exactly where, that they're...
Why? How?
Doesn't know anything. Hoshi says that the planet that they're heading to has a methane-based atmosphere, so Trip's like, well, she must be going to another planet. But she's there. She's not saying anything. It's all like
hush.
Confidential. But he says, are we supposed to play some kind of guessing game?
How about you just leave it alone?
And Archer says, no, we're supposed to wait at Panaya Prime for T'Pol and Travis to finish the mission. Reed and Trip talk about a couple of things they can do while they're just sitting around waiting.
Polish their knobs. The doorknobs, Carrie. The
I
doorknobs.
didn't say a word.
I saw the look on your face.
And that's it. This is a good time for me to point out, though, that Trip annoyed the fuck out of me in this episode.
Yeah.
Just the fact that he was so insistent on knowing what was going on.
Yeah.
That there's levels of classifications and shit. You just because you're friends with the captain doesn't give you the automatic authority to know everything that happens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
That's right.
Know your fucking place.
That's it. Get back in line, damn it.
Imagine Riker walking around going, Picard, tell me, Jean-Luc.
Captain.
Jean-Luc, I want to know what's going on with the lower deckers. Why did you send her away with the Cardassian guy?
Yeah.
Jean-Luc.
rubbing his head. Captain.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. It is. It's dumb. You're right. It is frustrating because he is. He's sort of like on his toes, really, and he like bouncing up and down. It's a pain in the ass.
I usually quite like Trip.
Yeah, he's all right.
But he annoyed the fuck out of me in this episode.
Yeah. When he actually gets powered too, that's when he was pissing me off more.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, so now you're the acting captain and you can't make decisions
At all.
and you act like a fucking child on the bridge.
Yeah, but he's a chief. He's the chief engineer. So he has to make decisions that are quite important all the time.
All the time.
Like, constantly. So how can he not make decisions
I know.
in the next role?
It makes no sense.
It's not right. Like, it doesn't... It's not logical. Like, he should be able to slip into that role relatively easy.
Yep.
Like, so... I don't
Clearly he's the next one in command.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like, he's... Yeah, he is, because he's gone into that position.
Yeah.
So.
If Archer and T'Pol are not there, he's the next one in command.
Yep.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That would be like Data or Geordie going, I'm
Yeah.
not sure what to do here. Let's just wait for Jean-Luc to come back.
Lock everything down. I don't know.
I'll get back to you. I don't know. Who am I?
Write it on a post-it note and I'll deal with it later.
Fucking hell.
So
Ridiculous.
That was pissing me off because he just kept... Yeah.
Yeah, he was annoying.
Yeah.
The whole episode. Annoying.
Yeah.
Anyway. We'll move on. We can complain more when we get to his other scenes.
Yes. Good plan.
So we cut to Archer's quarters. He's sitting on his bed bouncing a ball against the bulkhead and the doorbell rings. T'Pol comes in and Archer sarcastically says, if the Vulcan High Command doesn't approve of the water polo match I'm watching, I'd be happy to find another. Dick.
That was hilarious.
What a dick.
I fell off my chair.
She says, your orders came from Starfleet, not High Command.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, she says she's there for a personal matter that she wants to discuss.
He ignores her, looks at the water polo on the screen.
Yeah. And she stands in front of it and is like, you will listen to me, bitch.
Yeah. Like, don't be fucking rude, you human.
Yeah. Yep. So she talks a bit about her history, and before she joined the Science Directorate, she was assigned to the Ministry of Security.
My brain didn't go straight to Harry Potter. We can say that.
No, I don't. Okay. She says that she was trained in reconnaissance and retrieval, that 17 years ago she was sent to capture a bunch of people who had been surgically altered to infiltrate a society to sort of overthrow these criminal factions.
Manipulate them.
Yes.
Yes.
And when they
Vulcans are
were
great,
all
right?
recalled,
Yeah.
there was a bunch that didn't come back, and she was part of a team sent to collect them, and she had 6 people that she had to go and collect, and one of them, she didn't get one of them.
Yeah.
One of them got away. And so now
She
the
was
High
shit at her
Command
job, and Command
is
wanted
asking her to finish the mission
Yeah.
and go and get the one guy that she left behind.
That's right. She was shit at her job, and now she's got to go and finish it.
Well, I don't know that she was shit at her job.
She didn't finish the job.
That doesn't mean she was shit at it. It just means she couldn't get it finished.
That's right. Shit at it. It's years later.
my
Still
God.
hasn't finished it. Now they're
She was
trying to get her to clean
reassigned.
it up.
It's not her job anymore.
Well, why are they asking her to do it then if it's not her job?
Because they need her help now. It was a matter of honor. They said that.
Yeah.
That guy's obviously been disappeared for the last 17 years. Otherwise, someone else would have nabbed him, right?
Well,
In theory.
that's what I would have thought.
So now they got more information. And they found him. So they send the one person who was trained to get him to go and finish the job. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
I'm glad you agree. But she says that the man is very dangerous and that she would like Captain Archer to come with her.
Yeah.
And he says, why? Why? Why do you want me? I'm
Such
sure
a fucking
one of the
moron.
Vulcans can help you. Why would you want me?
He's an idiot.
And she said, I need to be with someone I can trust. And if you don't wish to help me, I understand.
Yeah.
And then he has a hard thinking face.
Yeah, because he
Like,
can't figure it out.
Let me think about this. Oh, it hurts my head. And then she gets up to leave and says goodnight. And then he says, what's his name? And she stops. And he says, the man we're going to apprehend tomorrow. And she says, Minos. We cut to the corridor. Trip and Archer are walking towards the turbo lift. And Trip is begging Archer for information. Like begging.
Yeah. Yep, like a little puppy dog.
So ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. It's sad.
Saying things like, this isn't just a case of curiosity. What if you get hurt or kidnapped? How am I supposed to be a good temporary captain if I don't know where my people are? Oh my God, please tell me something, please.
Yeah.
I don't like being out of the loop. Tell me something. Please tell me something. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's sad.
Anyway, it goes in the corridor through the turbo lift. They're heading towards the launch bay, so this conversation goes through all that.
The whole way.
Yep. Archer just doesn't give him anything, just says, we'll be back in a few days.
Yeah. And tell the Vulcan, don't tell the Vulcans.
Yeah, don't tell the Vulcans that I'm with T'Pol.
Yeah.
That's it. And then Archer, T'Pol, and Travis get into the shuttle and fuck off. We cut to inside the shuttle pod. T'Pol is giving Archer a bit of information about the guy they're going after.
Yeah. See photos of him, and so we know who he is.
Yeah. He was assigned to infiltrate a cell of smugglers, but basically learned how to be a smuggler.
Yep.
And became very good at it, became quite rich, and that he's been smuggling synthetic biotoxins that are used to manufacture transgenic weapons. She says that she did find him once on Riser 17 years ago, but didn't quite catch him. He's 20 meters, 10 meters away. And she has like a flashback of running through some
Shrubbery.
foliage. Yeah.
Shrubbery.
And then she just says that no one ever found him again after that.
Right.
So he's been in hiding for the last 17 years, or just very well hidden for the last 17 years.
Yeah, right.
Then it fades to commercial, or to black screen, and we come back. We see the shuttle pod landing on like a landing dock,
A really snowy area.
a snowy mountain area with these a few buildings there, but there's a big like landing platform.
Yep.
So the shuttle lands, and then we cut to inside a tavern, and there's heaps of different alien species in there.
shit
So
tons.
the makeup team would have had a field day.
Yeah. Wouldn't that have been fun?
I mean, it would have been hard work, I imagine, because
Yeah.
from what I've heard, the Star Trek production at this time, it was very like,
Go, go, go.
very time sensitive, cost prohibitive. Like,
Yeah.
not like that now where they spend 6 months filming 10 episodes. This was just such a
Like every week
high
by
pressure.
week, go, go, go.
Yeah.
You know?
So, yeah, it would have been fun, but it would have been such a lot of work.
Yeah. Would have been fun and mentally exhausting, and you're off for 6 months trying to recuperate your mentality.
Probably. But they looked really cool.
They did. They were awesome.
Yeah, they were really, really awesome makeup jobs. So the three of them walk into the tavern. We see all the different aliens. They're mingling around a little bit. T'Pol has a tricorder and says that he's in here within 30 meters. Archer gets Travis to watch the door in case he gets spooked and tries to run out.
The only door for the place.
The only door. Although there's probably a staff exit out the back.
I would have imagined. Yeah.
So there's walking around trying to find him. T'Pol sees him in a mirror and turns around to face him, and then some other alien dude sort of gets in between them and pushes him out of the way, and then he's gone. So she starts looking around, can't find him, looks over the bar and everything.
He's hidden under that bar.
Yep. She runs back to Archer and says, he saw me, don't know where he went. Archer jumps up onto a table, whistles to let Travis know to like keep an eye out, like shit's gonna go down. And then someone fires at Archer, and there's a big shooty fire fight in the bar.
To which barely anyone seems worried about.
No one seems
Like they sort of
probably
move
like
a little bit, but
they're probably used to it.
Yeah, they're like, it's like what? Oh, yeah, well, whatever.
Just another fucking bar fight in a dive bar. They fight for a bit, and then they capture Minos and put handcuffs on him, and that's it. Done.
Yep,
Got
end
him.
of the show. Got him. Locked him up. Sent him away.
We cut to the captain's mess. Trip is sitting in where the captain usually sits, watching a polo match because he thinks he's the big captain.
Yep, I get to sit in the chair and watch the TV.
Like there's nothing else on.
Yeah, like of all the
Just because the
things-
captain watches it doesn't mean you have to.
That's right. Of all the things,
for
like
fuck's
you've
sake.
got all of history's TV shows to watch, and you're watching fucking water polo.
Ridiculous.
Ugh.
Reed and Phlox enter. Trip says, "Come on in."
I've had the chef prepare a special lunch
For each of you.
for each of you.
Yeah. Not just a special lunch that we're all going to enjoy.
I know.
I've personally catered for your needs.
Yeah,
Because I am the big man in the chair.
that's right. That's right.
I don't know what's going on, but I can do
Yeah,
this.
I can't do anything, but I can order lunch for you. That's what I can do.
That's right.
Reed says, are you sure the captain wouldn't have a problem with you using his dining room? Acting captain. Captain's mess. I don't see a problem.
Fuck.
Fucking ridiculous. Flock says there's a virus on board and that we need to inoculate the crew. He talks about some of the side effects, and Trip's like, oh, that sounds like too big a decision for me to make.
Yeah.
I'll get back to you later, Doctor.
I don't want to give the crew diarrhea. I'd rather them have
No,
the
he
virus
says-
that's going to kill them.
He's too immature to say diarrhea.
That's right.
He says, I'd hate to be responsible for giving the crew the runs.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Jesus Christ.
He's terrible.
Flock says he needs an answer today, and he says, I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
I'll get back to you. I don't want to make a decision.
Fuck.
And Reed there says, while we're talking about approvals, I promised that we'd recalibrate the torpedo launchers. So I'll need to divert access from main engineering. And Trip says that would mean we'd have to power down the warp core. And Reed says, only for a day. Oh, I don't know about that. I'm not real comfortable. Oh, I'm not sure.
And it's not like they're going anywhere. I mean, these
They're
are the
literally
simplest.
sitting there for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, that's right.
Waiting.
Like, what the fuck?
Make a decision.
That's right. They're the simplest decisions too. You got a fucking virus. What was it? It was a virus.
It
Right?
was a virus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's a virus going around that's obviously going to cause a lot more issues than just the
Headaches and
the
diarrhea.
runs. Yeah, like it's going to be a lot more than that. So give them a fucking inoculations, like
Exactly.
easy, simple, and the more you do now, the better. And the engines aren't going to be used for the next 4 days. So do it now while you can. Like,
Exactly.
You know, because when the captain comes back, you go, why didn't you fucking do that while I was fucking gone? Because
Exactly.
now we have to wait a day to do the fucking computer shit before we can get going again, you fucking dickhead. I mean, yeah, oh, good, you didn't make those decisions. And half the crew's sick with a virus now. You're a good
Great.
fucking... I'm glad I put you in charge, you cockhead.
So he also tells Reed that he'll get back to him. I'll get back to you. And then Hoshi comes over the comm
Yeah.
and says that they're being hailed by the Vulcan ship as it's approaching. And he says, just tell them the captain's indisposed at the moment and he'll get back to them in a little while. Again,
Yeah, I'll get back
I'll
to
get
you.
back to you.
Flox was the one who goes...
Yeah, Flock says it's going to be hard to convince them that he's indisposed for 4 days.
Yeah.
And she calls back and says that Captain Tavik has a message from Admiral Forrest and seems very anxious to speak with Captain Archer. And Trip says, I'll get back to you.
Funnily enough.
What a shit filling captain.
Yep.
We cut back to the planet and we're in like an office and there's a dockmaster alien dude there
Yeah.
who's responsible for the...
Who looks surprisingly like any other Dockmaster alien we've seen. Like,
Does he?
yeah, because we've seen him in Deep Space Nine and must have been Voyager as well, was it? I know Voyager's in another another quadrant, but it must have been Deep Space Nine. I'm thinking of where they went to a what do you call it? Oh, fuck. Anyway, he just looked like another one that
Okay.
a trader, like sort of person. Yeah,
Anyway.
I know his species anyway.
Well, the dockmaster says that the warrant that they have is valid, but they won't be able to take him now because they're thermalizing the landing deck. There's acid all over the deck, which will literally burn through their shoes and feet if they try to walk to their ship.
Yeah, nasty.
Archer says, do you have somewhere that we can put him until we leave? And he just says, does this look like a prison to you? Surely there's some options here.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Do they not have like a janitor's closet?
Yeah, exactly.
Can they not just hail Enterprise and say, can you beam this dude to the brig?
Yeah, have bathrooms like a toilet,
Anything.
like somewhere.
There's got to be There must be an office or something.
Yeah.
They're in an office.
Yeah.
Use the dude's office.
Yeah.
Anything.
Leave him
It's
here
only
for
for a
few
couple of hours.
Yeah. That's right. There's many options here.
Yep. Anyway, instead, we cut to the tavern and he's handcuffed to a table.
Yeah. Because that's the logical answer.
With everyone
there.
around.
Yeah. Put him in an openly public place and on a table.
Ridiculous.
Fucking hell.
Archer says that any one of these people could be working with him.
He works alone, Gary.
Paul says the Ministry
right.
of Security is very clear that he works alone. And Mino says, I haven't always. And then she has another flashback of running through the foliage.
Yeah. After 2 people
Yes.
instead of just 1.
Correct. Then he goes on a bit of a speech. The Vulcans wanted to rehabilitate him, bring him home, flatten his forehead and repoint his ears.
As if that's a bad thing?
Well, it is if you don't want to be a Vulcan anymore.
Yeah, I know, but he's saying it to the he's saying it as if those are bad traits.
Yeah, because he's trying to appeal to the humans.
Yeah.
And he knows that the humans and Vulcans have a tenuous...
Those pointy-eared bastards.
Exactly. So if you're going to try to appeal to the humans, you would say, they were trying to make me like them. And I know you don't really like them, so why would I want to be like them?
Yeah, fair enough.
Makes sense. He says that the Vulcans had assumed that he had become corrupt and that he would remain that way if he was left alone. So they wanted to put him into a rehabilitation center for 3 years, and that he's never been a smuggler, that he helped and worked with smugglers because that's what he was trained to do when he was trained to infiltrate them. But that's not what he's been doing for the last 20 years.
No.
That instead, he's had a family, he's got a wife and kids, and he's spent all that time earning money by hauling spent warp injector casings, which apparently causes radiation poisoning.
Yeah, and for some reason people want that.
Well, he says that not many people would do that, but it's a necessary job, so someone's got to do it.
But, where is he taking them?
Through the wormhole into the Delta Quadrant.
Just throwing them in the hole.
Throw them into the void.
Yeah, that's it. just crate after crate.
That's how it works. Throw them into the void.
Yeah.
Till Janeway stops you, you've just got
That's
free
it.
reign.
It doesn't matter if the void is inhabited. I love it.
Well, that was the void episode, right?
Yeah, it was.
Minos asks Travis to grab something out of his pocket, and Travis goes to do it, and T'Pol says, "No, I wouldn't do that. It might be a weapon." And he says, "It's just a hologram of my family. It's not going to hurt you."
Yeah.
And T'Pol stares at Archer like, "Are you going to let this happen?"
Yeah.
I thought it was her mission.
Yeah, I know, right?
He was there to help her, right?
Help
Not
her
run
the
the
other way
show.
around. Yeah. She should be the one calling all the shots.
Exactly. This is a Vulcan mission. They're just there to help.
Yeah. He's all she needed was a pilot. If Archer wasn't there, she's the one who would be telling Travis what to do.
Yeah.
And Travis wouldn't even get more than 2 lines because that's his character.
Yeah. But Archer nods. Travis takes out the little projector and turns it on, and we see a woman and 2 young kids waving in this hologram.
He didn't seem overly emotional about it either.
No.
He just sort of very slightly grinned and nodded at it, and then it went back in his pocket.
It was just to add to try to convince the humans that he was a good guy. It's just more cover.
You'd act better though, right?
Mino says that the radiation poisoning from hauling the injector casings is going to kill him pretty soon anyway, and he doesn't want to die in a Vulcan prison. T'Pol reiterates that the information that they have is that he buys and sells biotoxins. And he says, if the ministry's reports about me were all true, I could easily shapeshift and slip out of these restraints or sprout wings and fly to my ship.
Which is funny because of the X-Men.
Yes.
Because That's great.
Well, he could just melt into
Yeah,
a
that's right. He can just slip
blob
away.
of water. Yeah. Archer says, well, why should she believe you and not her own government? He says, because they only give a shit about getting their agents back. It's more about just cleaning up their mess and letting the history of their infiltration be closed off rather than actually giving a shit.
Yeah, but like, and I get, like, it sounds really good, doesn't it? Like, it's
a
very,
good argument.
It is. It's a very convincing argument because we all know how the governments are, and it's good.
That's right.
With like Archer and stuff because they even know what the Vulcan history is like with the
That's right.
hidden observation center down under the ground on the planet
In Pajem.
In Pajem. That's so like Archer and everyone know that their government's not exactly honest about everything and they'll cover shit up.
Yep.
So it was a good argument, really.
Yeah, so he's selling that kind of idea that the government's just trying to keep their cover up, and he's just wants to live his life with his family and do good things.
Yeah.
Archer says, if you're innocent, I'm sure you'll be given a chance to defend yourself. He says, but I'm guilty. I'm guilty of not returning when I was told to. Mm-hmm. I'm innocent of selling biotoxins, but I'm guilty of being a fugitive because I don't deserve to go to prison and I don't deserve to be shot.
Yep.
And Archer says, we're just here to take you back to Vulcan. No one's going to shoot you. And he looks at T'Pol and says, well, what about her? And she grabs a knife and gets angry and lunges at him with a knife saying, you're a liar! Liar! And Archer tries to stop her. She cuts a couple of strips off Minos' jacket, ties them around her feet and fucks off and runs out.
Yeah.
If it's true, then his ship is going to be full of casings.
Yeah.
So she just runs off.
Yeah.
And you can see that she's running
all the straps are burning.
Yeah, starting to burn and stuff.
Smoky stuff.
Yep. As she's running, she has more flashbacks of running through the plants and foliage. She gets to the ship and she remembers in the past someone falling over her on the chase, and she opens some of these big containers inside his ship and sees that they're just full of casings like he said they would be.
Yep.
And she keeps having flashbacks while she's searching, and she keeps opening more and more of them. In the flashbacks, she sees that guy fall over again. She sees Minos in the past turning around, yelling out, Jocelyn. And then she opens another container, sees the casings, and then
starts digging through,
sinks to her knees in depression.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
And we fade to black, fade to commercial. We come back from fake commercial to the bridge. Tucker has added a extra pip to his uniform because he's the big playing the big boy.
That's it.
Because the Vulcans are hailing, and so he's going to pretend to be Captain Archer. He's talking to Hoshi about, are we sure that this guy's never spoken to Captain Archer? Has he ever been to Earth? There's no records of that, so he's just going to pretend to be Archer in a communication.
Yeah.
Because he's still messaging to try to get that message from Admiral Forrest. So yeah, he adds the pip, but he's still in his red engineering uniform.
Yeah.
So if the Vulcan knows anything about
ranks and
the
stuff.
uniforms, then it'll be wrong. But let's assume that the Vulcan doesn't know that.
Yeah.
The Vulcan captain on the view screen says that he seems very young for a Starfleet captain, and he doesn't know what the message from the Admiral means, but the message is Cal beat Stanford 7-3. And Trip, because he's useless, says, I'll be sure to tell him.
Yeah. Fuck. Idiot.
Oh my God.
He's just a fucking worry. He had one job.
It's just terrible.
Like, it was one job, one sentence, and he still fucked it up.
Yep. And then he sort of, after that phone call's done, he sort of slumps down into the captain's chair with this sulky teenage look on his face.
Yeah.
He's such a child.
He is.
It's ridiculous. Anyway, like I said, he frustrated me this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, understandably.
We cut back to the tavern. T'Pol comes back in. Archer asks what she found. Mm-hmm. She says, spent injector casings. He says, well, I guess you'll be going through decon when we get back then.
Yeah.
She says, I want to speak to Minos alone. Would you allow me to do that? Again, thought it was her mission, but he's fine. He gets Travis and they leave her alone with him.
Yep.
And she asks who Jocelyn is because she had that flashback. And he's confused. He's like, "Is this your idea of humor? Like, what are you?
Yeah. What
What are you doing?" And she points a gun at him.
Yeah.
And
He's pissed.
yeah, she's like, "Tell me who it is." She's angry. She's real angry. He says that Jocelyn was no different than he was, that he didn't want to be rehabilitated either.
Yeah.
And she has another flashback where apparently Jocelyn, I assume,
Yeah.
the guy falls to the ground again, but this time we see him reach for his holster to grab a gun.
Yeah.
And he says that she had caught up with them, well, it was 17,
Riser,
20 years ago, whatever it was, on Riser in the tropical zone, that she came looking for both of them.
He didn't deserve to die.
Yeah, that's right.
Neither does he.
She says, "You're telling me lies." You can see that she's just like losing her sense of self. Like, yeah, she's losing it.
Yeah.
She says, "No, I only followed you to Riser. There wasn't a second person."
Then why are you asking me about Jocelyn?
That's right. Yep.
You shouldn't. You can
And then-
repress the emotions, but you shouldn't forget that.
That's
You
right.
still have the memory of it. That's what he says, isn't it?
Yes. We go back to the flashback and we get a little bit more. He falls. He reaches for his weapon. She fires hers. We see birds flying out of a tree.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh my God, I killed him.
Yeah.
I killed him. What have I done? What have I done?" Yeah, and that's when he says what you just said about repressing emotion and not the memory of the act.
Yeah.
She's losing her mind, so she leaves the conversation and goes over to the captain, and he says, "Where's Minos?" And looks back, and he's still tied to the table, so he sends Travis over to guard him. T'Pol is clearly distraught at this point.
Yeah, she's a wreck.
So the two of them go outside to remove themselves out of the tavern so that they can have a talk. She seems to have got most of her memories back now. There are actually 7 people that she went after, not 6. And Minos and Jocelyn were friends or partners or something, and that she had followed both of them there. And then she says that after this all happened and she shot someone who she wasn't sure if he was innocent or not,
Yeah.
she really struggled to deal with the guilt of that, and so went to the Sanctuary of Pajem to seek guidance and did a ritual called the Fulara, which repressed the memory of the event along with the emotions associated with it.
That'd be handy, wouldn't it?
I mean, it would be real good for trauma.
Yeah, like it'd be really handy to be
Yeah.
able to do that for some people.
For some people, yeah, I
Yeah,
think it'd be good
it'd
if,
be
if
really-
the emotions of something were too overwhelming. It'd
Yeah.
be good for very complex PTSD or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It'd be a pretty nifty little thing to be able to do.
Yeah. She says that she started to get the memories coming back and the truth of what had been suppressed right when she got that first phone call from the High Command, and that little pieces had started to come back, but now she remembers all of it. Archer is questioning her about what he's been saying. Like, is he getting to you? This isn't... Your job is to apprehend him.
Not to judge.
You don't have to make any decisions. You don't have to do anything except apprehend him and let someone else do the judging and make the decisions.
Yeah.
Your job is apprehension. Archer is basically saying that Minos has got into T'Pol's head, and now she's questioning herself, and that's not good.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's what he wants to do.
That's right. He's just trying to, again, manipulate the situation for his own benefit.
Yeah.
Then there's some noise and commotion, and people start rushing out of the tavern because there's a big fire inside.
Yeah, funnily
They
enough.
run in to see Minos in the middle of the flames, still tied up to the table. And Travis says that he kicked over the table, and he says that he'd rather die burnt alive on a cold, frozen moon than be sent back to Vulcan and punished for crimes he never committed.
Yeah. And I would have just walked out at that stage. I would have
Yeah.
said, all right, see you later. Burn if you like.
Burn,
No,
baby, burn.
That's it. Walked out. If that's what you want, see you later. If
Yep.
you're not willing to go and be judged and prove your innocence and all that kind of stuff on Vulcan, and if you can't prove you're innocent and whatever, then fine. Burn here. See ya.
Bye. But T'Pol jumps over the flames to free him from the handcuffs.
Because, sure.
Yep. A beam falls from the roof or the ceiling to get in the way, and Archer and Travis jump over as well.
But
and they run outside.
Yep.
And he's gone.
Gone. Of course.
He's just gone.
Yep.
They get outside the tavern. Archer says to T'Pol, "Where's his ship? Your mission is return him to Vulcan, not determine whether he's guilty or innocent. Where's his ship?"
Yeah, because she's like totally on his side.
Yeah,
She's like,
she's just like, "No,
let
I
him
killed
go.
someone innocent.
Yeah,
he's
don't
clearly innocent too."
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I just let him go. Just go, it's easier.
We lost. Oh well.
Yeah, and he's got a family, so fuck it. You know, all the cases just prove that he was telling the truth. So
That's right.
What ifs?
Yep. She's convinced.
Yeah.
We fade to commercial, and when we come back, the fire is spread through the area. All these ships are taking off from the dock. They're just going. And then we cut to inside Minos' ship, and Archer, Trip, and T'Pol enter. She's scanning and says that he's not on board. Archer says, well, let's just be sure about that. So they go into the cargo hold, and they're looking around, and they can't. There's nothing there except for all the
Spent casings.
they we already saw.
And the captain's like, now we're all going to go through decon.
Yeah, that's right. Travis goes out to the cockpit to get life support up and running because it's fucking cold.
It's all right. The fire will get to him shortly.
That's right. And T'Pol says, like, you know, why would he use his own ship? It doesn't make sense. He's probably on one of those other ships.
Yeah.
He knows that if we got on his ship and flew away, that would follow him. So he's gone. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
Forget about
Don't
it.
even look. He was innocent anyway.
Don't worry
bother.
about it.
It's
It's
fine.
fine.
We're
Yep.
over it. We get
Yep.
it. We're gone. We just leave it. Just don't bother. Stop it.
Exactly. Archer says, we just need to find him. We need to at least look. Your job was to apprehend him.
Yep.
Let's just try to do that. You're giving up too easily. This isn't okay. Travis comes back and says, there's something funny up here, sir. Think you could come and take a look?
Because it's above my pay grade.
Yeah. That's right. I wouldn't know. This
Yeah,
is captain level shit.
That's it. I don't know how to deal with this sort of stuff.
So Archer goes up to the cockpit and they find a little panel there, and the ship had been powered down, but obviously something had been running.
Yeah.
So they pressed a couple of buttons to turn whatever that was off.
Yeah.
And then we cut back to the cargo hold where T'Pol is by herself, and this holographic force field camouflage drops, and we see another area that has been hidden.
Yeah.
And Minos is there holding a rifle and says that he was just going to wait for
I'm a
all
very,
of you to leave.
That's it. I'm a very patient man.
Yeah. And I was just going to wait for you to leave, but I guess you found me, so you're fucked now.
So pew 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 pew.
Yeah. So Archer and Travis come back into the cargo hold. Minos has a gun on T'Pol and says, "Put your weapons down."
I just
usually
don't-
hostage stuff.
Yeah, I don't get it though. I don't understand how, like, because she had a weapon on him
Yes.
as well, like straight
Yes.
away, and they were both there together. How come he trumps her? You know what
Because he knows that she's compromised. He knows that he's had an effect on her.
I mean? Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
I suppose. But it's
And
like,
she would have just heard all the conversation that she just had with Archer as well.
Yeah.
So,
So he knows
that
she'll put her weepon down.
exactly.
Because any other person, I'd just be like you'd just
No,
be like,
you put it down.
You put it down.
No, you put it
Yeah,
down.
that's it. You'd be there for half an hour going, look, we're in the same boat here.
Yeah.
Neither of us has got anything over the other.
Yeah. But no, he knows that he's got something over her.
Yeah.
Yeah. He makes Archer and Travis go into a locker and makes T'Pol go over to put in the code to lock it.
Yeah.
Just as she gets there, Archer pushes the door to push T'Pol out of the way and comes out, grabs his guns and starts shooting at Minos.
I liked that bit. I
was
thought that
good.
was really clever.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. So there's a bit of shooty. There's a bit
A
of
bit of Star Wars moment.
There's a bit of a There's a bit of a gunfight.
He surrenders, puts his gun down. He goes, "Stop firing." Then he very slowly starts to crouch, and instead of Archer shooting the fucker then with the stun, he goes, "What are you doing?" And he keeps moving, and he's like, "Stop that." And then he opens a hatch, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And then he jumps down the hatch. There's 3 times there that Archer could have shot the fucker with the stun, but he lets him go down the hatch.
Yep.
And you're like, what the fuck did you just do, Archer?
Let him go. We cut to outside where Minos has just escaped through the trap door, and T'Pol's the first one out.
Yep.
She yells after him to stop.
Yeah.
And he says, "You're not going to shoot me, T'Pol. You're not going to kill another innocent man. This is none of your concern, Captain. You know nothing about what happened on Riser." So he turns and walks away, cool as a cucumber.
Nonchalant.
He says, "I'm going to stroll off into the distance."
Yep.
Apparently Archer doesn't have his gun anymore.
Apparently. Somehow, some reason.
Archer says to T'Pol, "Why did you want me here?" And she says, "Because I trust you." And he says, "Then trust me. You were sent to apprehend him, not to judge him." So she shoots Minos, I assume with the stun.
Well, you and me both said at exactly the same time when he goes, "You're not going to kill another innocent man." You and me both verbally out loud said, "She's not going to kill you. She's got a stun setting."
Exactly.
Like it's not a life or death situation right now, buddy. She's holding a
apprehension.
That's right. She's got a Starfleet weapon in her hand. She will stun you.
Yep. So we cut to inside Minos' ship again. Archer is securing the prisoner, and Travis says, "I think I know why he stopped us firing at him." They open a cupboard, and it's full of biotoxins.
Yeah.
And T'Pol scans it and says that if one of our weapons had struck this,
big bada boom.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we cut to a shot of the shuttle pod returning to Enterprise as we get a captain's log supplemental. They met the Vulcan ship and they transferred Minos into their custody, and now they have returned to Enterprise.
Yeah, and he clearly did not talk to the captain. Like, he did not talk to the Vulcan ship when he got back.
No, clearly. No. You're Captain who?
Yeah, that's it.
What?
Hang on a minute.
Why is T'Pol here with 2 humans? What's going on? Hang on. We cut to the ready room. Archer is talking to Trip over the comm, asks if everything's ready to go. But Trip still won't let it go. He says, "Well, now that your secret mission is over, you think you can give your chief engineer a little hint about what you were up to? For fuck's sake."
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
And Archer rightfully ignores it and says, "Did I say warp 3? I meant 4.
Yeah.
Commander." And Trip again goes, "Not even a hint?"
Yeah. Fucking idiot.
Warp 4. Aye, Captain.
Yeah.
Soaky soak.
It's not even a Starfleet secret mission. It's a fucking Vulcan secret mission.
Exactly.
Like,
it's got nothing to do with him. It doesn't... Ugh,
Nah.
It just irritates me.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yep. While we're in the ready room, after that conversation, the doorbell rings and T'Pol comes in and he says, "Am I about to get another call from Admiral Forrest?" She says, "No, sir." There's just a moment here where they sort of acknowledge that he...
Made a bad joke.
Yes. No, that he helped her and that he wants to help. So if she needs some time to deal with the emotions and the memories that are coming up, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. And she says, "If you ever need someone you can trust." And he says, "I won't forget." The Enterprise warps off into the future. The end.
Where we're going, we don't need road.
Well, now that we've talked through it, Tom, what did you think?
Not a bad episode, actually.
If they had have miscast Minos, then that could have been a really bad episode. But he did a really good job of portraying a character where we didn't really know the intentions. So the mystery of, is he a bad guy? Is he a good guy? We don't really know because we also don't trust the government.
Yeah, that's right. You've already put that down in our heads.
Yeah, we don't trust the Vulcan High Command.
And also, like, the flashback she was having where she was, like, pinned down on the table, like, get
Yeah.
all shaky and stuff too, like with the older Vulcan. Like it made you sort of go, oh fuck, okay, like maybe they were, and it could all be pretty bad here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like they did a good job, and you're right, and that actor really did help with that a lot. And he's a good actor anyway. I've seen him in quite a few things over the years, and he's quite a good actor.
Yeah, if they had got that wrong, then it would have been a shit episode. But
Yeah, that was well cast. But yeah, no, I think overall it was pretty good. Yeah, I don't really have anything bad to say about it. Like Trip was annoying, but that's his character too.
no,
Like,
it's not usually.
No,
His
but I
character is
mean-
not usually that annoying and immature and ridiculous.
no, but it is to a little bit of a degree. They just amped it up for this episode.
Ridiculous.
Like, I
to
find
a
his-
ridiculous level.
Yeah, like I find his character somewhat annoying in all the senses he was in this, just not to this level. Because he does do this a lot.
He does.
Like he thinks
He's the
got
captain's buddy.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
he plays on that, and I know
Yeah.
that. And he is. This probably wasn't so much out of character. It was hyped up, like you say.
Yeah,
But at least before, I feel like if he had been told once, that he wouldn't like reiterate this.
yeah,
Tell me, come on, I have to know everything.
yeah, yeah.
I feel like if he'd been told it's classified, he would just shut up.
yeah.
I
But
don't
I guess it might have been the whole T'Pol thing and stuff too. Like he's used to being part of the trio,
I guess.
not being left out of that.
Maybe, but
Don't know.
still. Life lesson for this one, Tom.
Well, there are probably a couple that I can think of.
Don't trust the government.
Well, I guess like there's something about your past there, like accepting your past, or sort of learn to. Accept your past is really it, isn't it? Like,
Well, Archer does say something at the end about how those of us that don't repress our emotions have to find a way to acknowledge them and move on.
exactly. So it's really that accepting that. So accept your past and move on.
I think there's something to be said about this episode as an example of leaning on someone you trust when
That
you
was
don't trust
the-
yourself.
That was
right?
the next one. Because there's a couple
friendships.
there. Yeah.
And having that support system and network around you is really important.
Learning
So,
to trust.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was another one I was going for.
Yeah.
Really, is that
T'Pol knew that her judgment wasn't
going to be fully there.
exactly, that she hadn't reconciled her past,
Yeah.
and that she had to have someone that she trusted there with her to support her. And asking for help is not a bad thing.
No, that's
So
exactly
she knew
right.
she was emotionally fragile. She asked for help, and together they resolved the problem.
Yep.
It's a good example of friendship and
Trust.
Trust. Yeah. Excellent. What are we going to rate this week's episode, Tom? Our examples of 1 episodes are Voyager's Threshold and Next Gen's Code of Honor. Examples of 10 episodes are Next Gen's Tapestry and Deep Space Nine's Far Beyond the Stars. What are we going to rate the 7th?
7? No. I'd go less than last week. Well, it was pretty good, but what did we give last week? Did we go up to an 8 or a 7?
We went to a 7 last week for Marauders. I would go with a 7 again. I think Night in Sick Bay and Marauders were the last two, and they were both 7. And I
Yeah.
think this one's just as good as those two.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
I
I'm
think
not going to
I
argue.
really
I'm not,
enjoyed
yeah, I'm
this
not going to
episode.
argue. I'm not going to argue.
Apart from Trip, actually.
Yeah, and that was what my brain was doing, was going, there is that downfall because that was the...
I actually did feel irritated by that, so I
Yeah.
would drop it to a 6.
Yeah, so that's where I was. It's exactly where I was going. Was without Trip there, it's a 7. 6 would be,
Yep.
yeah,
Agree. If all that Trip stuff had been
a little
removed,
more, yeah, or
toned down,
toned down, yeah.
I mean,
where
we
he
didn't need it. We
No.
didn't really need it. They could have cut all that out and just focused on the main story.
Yeah, but
And it would have been fine.
even if they had given us the Trip stuff, they could have even shown us Trip doing better.
good. Maybe
Yeah.
show how good he is.
Yeah, that's right. Like actually stepping up.
Yeah.
Like instead of trying to make some humorous thing that didn't work.
Yeah.
Because he's meant to be in Starfleet. So make him, or even make him panic a little. Like Deanna Troi.
Yes.
Like, because she didn't have a fucking clue what to do because
Nope.
it wasn't her role.
That's
like,
right.
She'd never done it before. So she tried to ask questions and get
She
it.
learned.
Like, she learnt. Like, she had to push through it.
Yeah.
Trying her best, and you could feel that she was panicking as fuck.
Yeah.
So you could put him in that sort of situation, make something really happen that puts him in a situation where he does actually stress. Make it a thing.
But he shouldn't be at that point. He is...
exactly,
If
he's
DePaul
already
had not been assigned, he would be the second in command.
exactly. He's already
He should be up to scratch.
Yeah.
So that dynamic that you're talking about
wouldn't exist.
shouldn't exist
No.
for that character. Maybe if you were talking about Travis or
Yeah.
Reed or Hoshi, then that kind of like, oh, I'm really unsure of myself would be
Yeah.
valid. But even with Trip, that's not a valid. That
Yeah.
wouldn't be valid for
I
his
know.
position.
I know. I understand, which is why I said earlier he's the chief engineer. Like
he should be. He needs to be
he
better.
is one that makes massive decisions every day. So
Yep.
he shouldn't be having these fucking problems.
Nope.
Like he should be able to step up easily.
Yeah,
Like you said, Geordie or Data, they would just do their fucking job.
just do it. That's right. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Anyway, I guess
Yeah.
that's it for this week.
Yep.
All right. If you want to tell us how much you hate Trip, we don't hate Trip.
No.
We were just frustrated in this episode. But if you want to join the conversation and tell us what you thought of the 7th or Star Trek in general, you can find us on Facebook at Temporal Directive Podcast and on Instagram, just Temporal Directive. Or you can email us at wakefield_productions@outlook.com. We would love to hear your thoughts, so please reach out. We'll be back next week with the episode The Communicator. Live long and prosper.
Peace and long life.